Hey guys, it's me, Freddy Pop Collector, and today we're going to be ranking every single FNAF Funko Mystery Mini from worst to best. Back in January, I made a video ranking every single McFarlane figure from worst to best. You guys seemed to really enjoy that, so I thought, what better continuation than to do Mystery Minis? We have an extremely long ranking ahead of us, so I thought I'd just cut this intro short and get straight to the rules. First of all, as you probably would have guessed, no blacklight or glow-in-the-dark Mystery Minis. That's mostly because I can't really rank them based on accuracy because they don't exist in-game. So I just decided to cut them all together, and also, please be aware, this is just my opinion. It's a little silly to get upset about a personal ranking of a toy, so please don't bash me in the comments below. Also, just like with the McFarlane ranking, I'm not using the number cards because we just have so many minis to rank. Before we dive right in though, I do have one more thing to say. If you want to see more content from me, please consider liking and subscribing. Most of you know the gist by this point. My main goal for 2021 is to reach 100,000 subscribers. If you want to see more content from me, it's a great way to show your support. And with that being said, let's get into the ranking of every single FNAF Funko Mystery Mini from worst to best. Coming in last place, unfortunately, we have Shadow Bonnie. This mini is so inaccurate to the original character that even Funko realized their mistake and made another one. Sorry if it seems a bit harsh, but if I wasn't collecting these, I wouldn't have bought this one. Next up, we have Mangle. My main issue with this one is that it just flat out doesn't look like Mangle, especially since a certain other Mangle mini pulled off the perfect Withered design. Next up, we have Shadow Freddy. It looks much more like a fan model than the actual character. I understand Funko didn't make a Withered Freddy mold, but that doesn't make this mini any more accurate. Next up, we have the hot mess that is Rockstar Foxy. Pretty much everything's wrong here: the yellow pants, the colors, and just the shape in general. Moving right along, we got Dark Trap. I don't really know why this exists. It took the spot from Scraptrap, so why does it exist? He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. We got your boy's psychic friend Fredbear. He looks like a fan model, so next up, we have Endoskeleton Freddy. Yeah, I wish they really just stuck with one or two. Making a mix of them just doesn't really look good. Next up, we've got Cheetah Trap. You can probably guess my main issue with this one. He literally looks like a cheetah. That's all. Next up, we have Golden Freddy, Happy Frog, and Mr. Hippo in that order. Golden Freddy's the worst in my opinion because he has the two buttons, so it's not really clear whether this is Golden Freddy or Withered Golden Freddy, so he just kind of looks like an amalgamation of the two. Here, we have the Devil's Spawn, and right beside her, we have Mr. Hippo. He's the best one, but he does have a lot of color issues, and his head shape is pretty wonky. I feel like a lot of you may disagree with my next choice here, that being Helpy. I don't know, but things like the colors, the teeth, the ribbon around his hat just really bother me for some reason in a way I can't really explain. Freddy and Bonnie both have the same problem, so you can just swap them around. The razor sharp teeth aren't accurate, and I also don't like that they don't have black eyelids. It really throws me off. Seeing how later minis focus on accurate details, these don't appeal to me, but I'm gonna immediately be called a hypocrite because Rockstar Chica and all the Chicas have those feathery wing pieces, but the difference here is that those aren't realistic details. Obviously, it's purely artistic. Anyways, Rockstar Chica, pretty solid mini. Let's move on. Next up, we have a pretty rare mini from Series 2, that being Plush Trap. My two major critiques I have with this mini is he doesn't have the stitching pattern going throughout his body, and he also doesn't have his signature 3-segmented ears. Aside from that, though, he is a pretty solid one. Next up, we have Lefty. My main issue with this one is he's gray, not black. Next up, we have Pig Patch. Some of you may disagree, but I just don't see Pig Patch in this mini. I don't know if it's the head shape or what, but that's probably just me. Next up, we have the good old classic FNAF 1 Chica. The eyelids are good. I like that they're black. I like the toes. The upper teeth aren't supposed to be there, but I don't know. I just think this mini's pretty good. Nightmare Foxy's an interesting case because he looks cool, but I just think he has a lot of inaccuracies, especially his teeth. His eyes are also incorrect, but you can tell effort was definitely put in here. Next up, we have Nightmare from FNAF 4. A lot of the community seems to really praise this one, and I don't really know why. All they did was change the Nightmare Freddy Mystery Mini by removing the freckles and adding different eyes. And we know their designs are vastly different, so I don't know why they didn't just recolor Nightmare Fredbear instead. Next up, we have Nedbear. This is another one where the proportions make it look really off. The head is very wonky. Following Nedbear, we have another bear animatronic, that being Toy Freddy. The body is literally spot on. The only issue is the eyes. They were going for the black eyes thing and it just doesn't look right. Next up we have Foxy, followed by Egg Baby. First up we have Foxy. Not gonna lie, he looks pretty good. He just suffers from the cartooniness a lot of the Wave 1 minis have, which I don't like because later waves don't follow that. Then we have the Fnaf6 Egg Baby, a very unique mini to say the least. I would have much rather had Security Puppet or Scraptrap, but it's pretty cool. The proportions are off and the eyes are really small for some reason. Never been a big Orville fan, but I gotta say the mini is pretty good. I do have a few issues with it though. My issues with him are minor, but they are still existent, that being that his flower isn't painted or his teeth. Of course, you all know I want to put my channel mascot Rockstar Freddy higher than this, but when I look at this mini, I just don't see my precious man Rockstar Freddy in this one. Also, why no coin slot? I've got nothing against Little Joe or the Magician. Seeing as these were the absolute last characters from Sister Location, I'm so glad they got made into minis. Absolutely no other character deserved a mini more. I mean, there is no more characters. They did Lolbit, Yendo, everyone. I mean, it's not like a very strange but welcome addition to Series 1 of the FNAF Mystery Minis is the Crying Child Mystery Mini. I don't really necessarily have any flaws with this mini. I think it looks perfectly fine, but I don't really know why they changed the 8-bit design and made it 3D. It looks a little bit fan artish. I don't know, I just thought the 8-bit perspective would be really cool. Next up is the Cupcake. Looks pretty good. This next mystery mini falls into a very similar case as Toy Freddy, the problem being the eyes, that being the puppet. The eyes are too small. Next up we have a giant group of mystery minis, El Chip, the Toy Chicas, Toy Bonnie, and Ballora, in that order. All of these minis are probably the most mediocre of the bunch. They're okay, they might have one or two flaws here and there, such as proportions, but they're not bad, just extremely mediocre. It's such a shame I have to put Twisted Bonnie towards the mediocre category, especially considering how much detail he has. But honestly, I can't just ignore he's the complete wrong color, like, what? Circus Baby and Rockstar Bonnie are two minis that have a very similar problem in my eyes. Both of them have very detailed and accurate bodies, but the problem is the heads. They have very weird proportions. But since Funko remembered to give Baby the antenna, I'll give Baby the slight edge here. Next up we have Balloon Boy, pretty solid mini. Followed by RWQFSFASXC, pretty solid mini. I just don't feel comfortable ranking them any higher. We have finally reached our first security breach mini, that being Vanny. I love the stitching pattern on the suit and the knife accessory. The only problem is they didn't give her whiskers. Fruit Punch Clown is up next, and I really do understand what they were going for here, but the head and body proportion is what really kills this one. They were trying to copy the mini game, but they made his head so big and his body so small that it looks completely off. Also, where's Lemonade Clown, guys? Nightmare Bonnie and Jacko Bonnie are basically the same mini, so you can just swap them around. You can probably already tell the problem, that being the ears. Like Plush Trap, they're not 3-segmented ears. Even if they are missing one of their defining characteristics, the withering and the whiskers are so accurate that I can't help but put this in the top 50 minis. Next up, we have one of my favorite FNAF characters of all time, actually, that being Nightmare Freddy. Let's be honest here, what really makes this mini stand out is the frettles. Sure, his eye color's wrong, whatever, but he has his cut off ear and 2 frettles, so that's a win in my book. Also, rip in pieces Frettle 3. Not that much to say about Bonnet and Bonbon, actually. They just took Bonbon off of Funtime Freddy's hand, scaled him up, and recolored that one and turned it into Bonnet, so perfectly accurate, but not that much else to say. However, I do have a lot to say about our next 4 minis, that being the Security Breach Gang. Listen, I think these minis rock. I think all of them are very accurate from what we've seen from Security Breach thus far, but I just don't feel comfortable putting them any higher because we haven't seen them in action. Sure, we've seen them in the trailer, but that could change drastically. If I were to rank them from worst to best, I would say Glamrock Chica's the worst, then Roxanne, then Montgomery Gator, and I would say Glamrock Freddy is my favorite of the bunch. And yes, I did put Vanny lower on the list, but that's because I just don't think she's as good as these 4. I'll say it one more time. Judging by the trailer, they look pretty accurate, but we'll just have to see how they compare in the final version of the game. Nightmare Fredbear's up next, and I gotta say, really solid mini. A little bit too cartoony for my liking, but I really do like the buttons and the stomach mouth. Has anyone ever found it weird that Jacko Chica is in the base roster of UCN and Nightmare Chica isn't? I'm kind of glad this is the case though, because, personal opinion incoming, I do like Jacko Chica a lot better than Nightmare Chica. But anyways, if you couldn't tell, up next we have Nightmare Chica and Jacko Chica, both of them being pretty much the same mini, just recolored. One more thing to say before we move on, the Pumpkin and Nightmare Cupcake both look especially good for being so small. small. So guys, here we are, we finally made it, the top 30 best FNAF Mystery Minis, of course, in my opinion. Keep in mind, every mini past this point pretty much has no flaws, it just comes down to which ones I like the most or which ones I find the most impressive. And with that knowledge, coming in at number 30, we have the Nightmare Cupcake. Similar to Bonbon and Bonette, it's just a scaled up version of Nightmare Chica's Cupcake. It looks really good. Let's move on. Ella's up next, and she looks really accurate, basically picture perfect, nothing really to say other than it's accurate. Listen, I love Springtrap as much as the next guy, he's my favorite character in fact, but I don't really feel comfortable putting the Afton mini any higher than this. I just feel there's much more impressive ones out there. Taking the spots between 27 and 25, we have Funtime Foxy, Scraptrap Baby, and Funtime Chica in that order. First up, we have Funtime Foxy, a very detailed mini for sure. Everything here is pretty much spot on. My only complaints are of course the front teeth, but all the Foxies have that, and also she only has one of the dots on her leg. I feel like I may get some backlash for this, but Scrap Baby's up next. I don't know, I just don't really see Scrap Baby in this mini. I know minis have to be simplified, and Funko probably did the best they could, but I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Funtime Chica, on the other hand, is a very well done mystery mini in my opinion. Not only does she have all the lines all over her body, everything is accurate, but the cupcake is what really pushed it up. It's really cool looking. Twisted Wolf and Twisted Chica are up next. Twisted Wolf looks really solid. I love the design they went with, and Twisted Chica, for a character that doesn't even technically exist, it still looks really awesome. I love Funtime Freddy's mystery mini. They got every single faceplate, the 2 buttons, the speaker, bonbon, everything here is perfect. Literally. Next up, we have another fan favorite character from the franchise, that being Ennard. And I gotta say, the craftsmanship on this mini is insane. Definitely one of the best craftsmanship wise, so Ennard, you get a thumbs up from me. After him, we have Stanley. Pretty solid mini in my opinion. Then we have Twisted Freddy. Pretty solid mini in my opinion. Then we have Twisted Foxy. Pretty solid mini in my opinion. Sorry for the lackluster commentary on the last 3 minis, I just didn't really have a lot to say, but I do have a lot to say about our next mystery mini, that of course being Molten Freddy. The mask, the fingers, the pool of wires, everything here is really cool. Also the back of the head is awesome as well. We've covered pretty much every single mystery mini from wave 4, only a few exceptions, one of those being Theodore. I don't know why Funko went all out with this character, but it looks incredible. The Jumpscare mystery minis are up next. Jumpscare Baby, Jumpscare Galore, Jumpscare Funtime Foxy, Jumpscare Funtime Freddy, and Jumpscare Ennard in that order. The order here honestly just purely comes down to how much I like the mini itself. For example, Jumpscare Baby I don't really like that much, which is why it's at the bottom, but Jumpscare Ennard is my favorite. I find it really impressive. Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Ballora are all really solid as well. As cool as it is Funko did this, I don't really want to put these any higher because the bodies don't change at all, except for a few exceptions like Funtime Freddy missing Bonbon and Ballora's hairpiece staying on, which are really nice touches. Coming in at number 10, we have Candy Cadet. It looks really complicated, but its mini actually translates really well. A mini I definitely want to get sometime in the near future. Coming in at number 9, we have the only Withered animatronic currently made into a mystery mini, that being Withered Bonnie. Another mini I really want to get, one of the few I'm still missing from Series 2. Not gonna lie, I quite frequently forget that Paper Pals have a mystery mini, which honestly is a big disservice to this mystery mini because honestly it looks fantastic. Here we have all of the minis from spots 7 to 2. We'll reveal these one at a time and go into discussion on why it is where it is. Coming in at number 7, we have the Minnerina, one of the most unique minis from Series 2, and honestly one of the most special minis of all time. It's very different and really sticks out from the crowd. What really shot this one up the ranking though is Funko stacking another one on top, which is something they didn't even have to do. Yes, if you were paying attention, Nightmare Balloon Boy is up next. Literally, Funko not only got everything right, but the proportions, everything here is awesome. Probably some of the best Nightmare Balloon Boy merch we have, even better than the McFarlane figure. Kicking us off in the top 5, we have a very similar mini to Nightmare Balloon Boy, that being Nightmarion. From the teeth, to the fingers, to the twisted limbs, to the colors, to the ribs, everything here is perfect. Biddy Bab's up next. Such an awesome and creative mini. I love that Funko went the extra mile to open the faceplates, obviously trying to mimic the jump scare. This is one of my personal favorite minis, not just because it looks really awesome, but because this is actually one of the very first exclusive minis I found myself. So that's why it's pretty high up in the ranking, but anyway, taking home the bronze medal, we have Yendo. This mini is probably the best crafted one of all time. Yeah, sure, the jump scares had really cool faces and face plates, but Yendo went went all out and he has details all over his body. I find it pretty interesting that Yendo was also in the top 3 in the McFarlane ranking. I guess Yendo merch is just always really detailed, but anyways, coming in as runner-up we have Lolbit. This one is so awesome because the plushie, the action figure, and surprisingly the McFarlane figure all have the same problem. That being, they're extremely lazy. They're based on the FNAF sister location Lolbit, but Lolbit doesn't have a body in FNAF sister location. So Funko going with this very detailed TV design is honestly really surreal. And coming in at number 1 for what is, in my opinion, the very best FNAF Mystery Mini of all time is Nightmare Mangle. But honestly, I don't care. That body is one of the most impressive things Funko has ever done for the FNAF franchise. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't have the pink coloring around the eyes, but who really cares? This is one of the best pieces of FNAF merch out there in my opinion, and that's why it's earned itself the number 1 spot. And with that being said, that was every single FNAF Mystery Mini ranked from worst to best. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. This video was a beast to make, and I hope you agree with at least some of my opinions. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you probably noticed that this video came out just a few short days after my last video, which doesn't happen very often. That's because I've gotten a lot more motivation over the past couple weeks to really try on this YouTube thing, giving you guys content at least every single week. My next video should be up on July 23rd, this Friday. Go check out my newest community post if you want to see my schedule going into September for my uploads. I'm going to try to stick to it the best I can. Also, one more thing to say before I wrap out the video. Thank you guys so much for 67,000 subscribers on the main channel and almost 1,000 subscribers on the second channel. If this is your first time hearing about the second channel, go subscribe to it, turn the notifications on. I'm going to upload previews over there, live streams. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's called Freddy Pop Extras. I have a lot I want to do with this second channel. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go check it out. While you're down there in the description, feel free to comment what your top 10 favorite FNAF Mystery Minis are. But with that being said, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new. New video in a few days. Hope you guys are excited, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.